Hello and welcome to Wendell's Guide to Soloing Azgalor, the fourth boss in Mount Hyjal as a hunter. So you can see that I've
Not
placed
bad.
markers. Basically, for this fight, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have markers set up 100 yards apart. And in order to do this, um, the reason you want to do this is he has an ability called Doom, which has a 100-yard range, and will, if he manages to cast it on you, will kill you after 20 seconds. So the only way to avoid this is by having your pet tank him 100 yards away. If you do over, if you do 100 yards, if your pet's over 100 yards, your pet will disappear. If your pet is less than that, then and that means the boss will be closer. And if the boss is 100 yards or closer, he'll be able to cast Doom. So the trick is you need to get your pet literally right on the edge, which what I like to do is I like to put the my pet. I set this little blue marker up over here by this kind of brown area of the ground, and then so I have my pet taking him there, MD him, and gets a little bit of DPS on Azgalor, and then I set up the green one right over here in the corner, by these roads on the grassy knoll, and basically, from this point on, what you're going to want to do is you wait for him to cast Doom. You can use Kill Command in the meantime, because there's really nothing else you can do. So you can just use your Kill Command, get a little extra DPS, and then every time he casts the Doom ability, you will have, what you just saw, you have 45 seconds to get down there, do as much DPS as possible, men pet. You need to make sure you're men petting when you go down there, and then get back up before that 45 seconds is up, because every 45 seconds he'll cast that ability. Um, you don't have to have the markers set up exactly where I've set them up. That's just where I like to set them up there, kind of, because I like to have the reference points on the ground before I even set the markers, so it makes it a little easier for me to set that 100-yard distance. But basically, how you want to determine if you are 100 yards away is once you finish killing the third boss in Mount Hyjal, before you even start the next part of the encounter, um, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set your pet in a certain spot and put a marker down. And then get, like, literally, like, get far away. And then once you get maybe like 70, 80 yards or whatever, a fair distance, you're going to want to start inching your way backwards from your pet, and your pet has a 100-yard range. So once you get beyond that 100-yard range, your pet's going to disappear. So when you reach the point where your pet disappears, go ahead and put a marker like directly in front of you, and then go back, put your pet back, resummon your pet, put your pet back on its original marker, and then you go back to the marker that you placed in the back, and you should be 100 yards away at that point. If you're not, just kind of tweak it here and there, until you get to that range where you're just at that 100-yard range. And you can tell you're there if your pet's over at the original marker and you're at the original, you're at your new marker. And if you get slightly behind your new marker and your pet disappears, you know you're 100 yards away, or you've put your marker down 100 yards away, so you'll be good. Not too hard to do, but takes maybe a couple minutes of positioning and stuff. Um, Other than that, the whole positioning is really the big part of the fight. Every time you cast Doom, like you just saw, I like to have a stopwatch out, and I'll press play on the stopwatch so I can tell that I've got 45 seconds. Because unfortunately, DBM does not like to record the important stuff, apparently. So, just get as much DPS time as you can, and then usually around the 35-second mark I get off another men pet and start going back uphill. And you shouldn't have to do this too much if you're DPSing yourself. I've heard of hunters that also go BM for this fight, and then they just stay 100 yards away while their pet does all the damage and heals itself. But I don't want to respec fully just for one fight, so I'd rather just do it like this. But as long as you've properly placed markers down, or whatever system you have for making sure you're 100 yards away from your pet, then you will be golden. So that is Azgalor, the 4th boss in Mount Hyjal, and how to solo him as a hunter. Alright, so thanks for watching, and hope you have a good day, or whatever.